What's up, Fox Body Nation? Hope you're having an excellent Monday. It is beautiful outside, and man, do I have a surprise for you today. I'm super excited about what I've got to show you what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be changing the look of the headlights for my Fox Body for something like this to something more like this. So stay tuned. That is incredible. Super excited today to show you a new product we're going to be putting on the car. We're going to be upgrading the headlights on our car from a sealed beam to LEDs. So one of the things I've always kind of looked at doing on this car, even before JDM reached out to me, I've always had the idea of finding a good bulb, glass bulb that allows for a different replacement style lighting element in the back of it, whether it's halogen, LED, or even HID style lighting. So I've always kind of entertained that idea just to really increase the light output on this car. I do like to drive it at night, and I like to be able to see. And nowadays modern cars have HID lighting. They've got all sorts of different types of lights. Your old school sealed beam bulbs are just really not cutting it. They have a nice yellowy look to it and just really don't light up the road as much as they could. So lighting technology has advanced so much nowadays that why not look at some other options? I want it to look like a stock 86 Mustang should look, but then have the increased light output that a newer modern vehicle has. So before JDM reached out to me, I actually found a set of bulbs here that I'm going to show you up close in a second that looks very stock. They're glass, they're sealed, but they allow for replacement bulbs in the back of it here. These are H4 style bulb, so it gives you any kind of option you want to put in the back of it. When I brought this idea up to JDM, they said that's a great idea. There's not many people, at least for them on their site, that's showing off, conversions like this on a classic car, because this will apply to anybody. They're in, and he decided to send me some of the coolest, newest, and greatest in technology in LED lighting. We're going to try it out on our car and see how it looks. So I pulled the Mustang out a little bit to give us a little bit of room to work, and before we start working on this little 86, I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing is a side-by-side comparison. We'll be doing LED on one side versus halogen on the other. And then I'll be hooking up my DSLR camera and videoing the difference between both sides so you can actually see how much brighter the LED is versus your stock sealed style halogen bulbs. So I'm excited. I gotta show you guys what I've chosen here for the headlight bulbs. This is completely my decision. I found these on Amazon, so I'm gonna show you guys the housings, and then I'll show you the LED bulbs that JDM sent me that we'll be installing. So check this out. Okay, before we start looking at the bulbs, let's look at these housings. These are glass, and these are your standard 4x6. I've been hesitant to do this switch simply because I have not found the right housing that I like that looks stock. And I found these. These are actually Amazon 4x6. These are H4666 sealed beam style. That's just the type of bulb that these take in the back here. And as you can see, the quality of these is really nice. They have the rubber boot and cap. These actually came with bulbs, which I was really surprised about. Anyways, there's a company called, I guess, Autopal. These are made in India. We'll see how these work. They're supposed to have a nice cutoff on them, a nice spread, and not blind oncoming traffic. And that's the same with the bulbs that we'll be putting in. They should have a nice cutoff on these as well. Alright, let's just get straight to the goods, man. This is JDM's most newest and best top tier line product, and this is their NX series, which is 10,000 lumens. And I have not opened these yet. I'm excited to open these and show you guys some of the features that they've sent me that make these stand out from all the other competitors out there. So again, this is their top line. These retail for about $69 on the website. And yeah, let's just pop these open and take a look. So the packaging is nice. I'm trying to not make this like a unboxing video here, but comes with some instructions here. But let's just pull these out and look at it. Okay, man, this is awesome. Holy crap, check this thing out. Alright, let's take a second to go over what makes these better than some of your competitors. So why would you go for this brand versus another brand? Let me tell you what JDM sent me here. I actually got a list of some specs and features they sent me. So these are powered by an internal IC driver to maintain efficiency and load. They have a faster heat dissipation with a passive 6063 aluminum heat sink, which is this guy right here. They're designed to be used for road and off-road, and or really powerful brilliance. It says rated at 5,000 LM per bulb. Luxurious, crystal clear color temperature with a rating G of 6500 K. That's going to be the color and brightness of them. They're an all-in-one design for seamless installation, designed to be plug and play for most foreign and American vehicles. Utilizes the second gen CSP light source for high thermal resistance and light efficiency. So these also have a waterproof rating IP65. So these are going to be badass. Before we slap these on the car, let's just show you real quick how these are going to go inside the housings here. So what we're going to do is take one of these housings. Now JDM offered to send me a boot. They can actually supply a different boot. I just said, you know what, don't worry about it. We'll see if I can make the boots work that come with these bulbs. That way, if any of you guys out there want to purchase this same bulb with these headlights, you can do that. So these should just snap right in. So release this, they just pinch in, much like the Marshall lights halogen bulbs replaced. And pull out these. This is a three-way key, so it's only going to allow to go in one way or the other, which in this case is going to be this case here. And this may be a problem. We have to stretch this around. Okay, not a problem at all. Stretch this right around. Let's make sure this is going to fit inside of our Mustang without hitting anything. I got a feeling this is pretty long, it's protruding out, and it's going to find some resistance. And yeah, let's start taking apart the Mustang. For ease of showing you guys the videos, this is the first time I've done this. We're going to go through this together. We're going to do the driver's side. Seems to be a little bit more room, and got a little bit more room to work here too, not next to the Trino. So let's do that. Okay, you should have 4 screws, and forgive me doing this for not a lot of room, but we got 4 screws holding the trim ring on. You got 2 up here, which are right there, and you got 1 here, and you've got 1 there. So we're going to just go in there. And if your car is as ratty as mine is, you'll notice you've got screws missing, which I just now realized this one up here is missing on mine. So okay. Okay, I'm gonna move this aside. This is sharp. Make sure you don't set it here. It might scratch your paint. Okay, that's it. That should remove the bulb. And it does. And we'll go ahead and release it here. Ooh, watch out. Okay, that's it. Okay, here's a quick side-by-side comparison of the what do you call these, Autopal housings versus a Wagner sealed beam halogen. And actually I was concerned about the width, or the depth of this being not enough, but I'm looking at it here and it actually looks like, we measure the depth. So this is about how big the depth is from the front of the headlight housing to the heatsink. If you compare that to this, I mean, you're talking about that much difference in depth, you know, compared to your LED. So the LED doesn't stick out near as much as you would believe that it would. It's actually quite similar. Okay, we are quite simply just going to plug it in to the housing. It's like, look at that, it goes right in. The tabs stayed right in place and and actually fit really nicely. So these have an arrow of up. That's obviously going to be where the headlight goes up. And we'll simply put the trim ring back on here. Man, that bolted right in. That was the easiest thing I think I've ever done on this car. So you can see that it looks very stock, which is again the reason why I chose those housings. You can see a little bit of the color of the black bulb inside of it, but I think it's really cool. And man, what are we waiting on? Let's see if it works. Let's just go ahead and turn the lights on, right? Oh my gosh. Man, that is something else. Look at that. Look at the wall. I don't know if you can see the difference here. You can definitely see, you know, where the center point of the passenger side bulb is versus the one here, which is basically pointing right at my tank. I mean, it is incredibly bright. Look at that shadow. And you can't even see me. There you go. So, that's cool. Okay, so I decided to check the brights, and I actually noticed that with the brights on, they seem to be more on a driving level. So the beam went down, and I seem to be much more level and cut than it was when I showed you on the wall a second ago. So it looks like that the brights and the normal driving position might be reversed. The wiring could be reversed. So I want to take a better look at that here when it gets dark, and if that's the case, we'll have to call JDM up, see what they say about it. Okay, standard beams, brights. Okay, before reaching out to JDM, I decided to do a little bit of research myself, and that led me to getting online, looking at schematics, and then using my multimeter to check the pinouts to see how it matched up with what's going on here. And I also decided to take the stock, or actually the H4 halogen bulb that came out of my housings that I just purchased. These came with them. I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and plug these in and see if they do the same thing, and sure enough, they did. The results were exactly the same, whereas my low beams came on when the highs were on, and when you had the high beams on, the low beams were on. So this pinout of an H4 type bulb, the high and low is reversed of what we have on our standard sealed beam halogens. Don't fret though, luckily on our little Fox bodies here, it's an easy fix. Alright, let's take a second to go over to the whiteboard, and I can help hopefully explain exactly what I've found out. Now looking online, it turns out that the H4 pinout is exactly how I've discovered, which is your common being up here on the top right, the high being on the top left pin, and the low on the bottom. On the 86 Mustang, however, the high and low is reversed. You still have your common up here on the top, and your high beam on the bottom and low on the top left. So this exactly explains the results we have when plugging it in. Now I've already discovered that these pins are super easy to switch, so don't fret. We can go in here and easily switch these two pins on the factory harness without having to cut any wires. So it's really simple to do. That means, from what I can tell, this is something that anybody would have ran into doing an LED conversion on any of these older vehicles. I can't explain to you why they decided to switch, or when it switched, or what kind of a standard it switched from H4 from the sealed beam to the halogen versus LED in modern style. So that's what we've come across with. There's no way of getting around it. Let me show you how to switch the pins out on it. Super easy. Okay, head back over to your harness here. And I've taken the liberty for you and myself to go ahead and label these. So I've got the common wire again here, low beam on this top side, and the high beam on the bottom. All we're going to do is simply switch the high and the low. Inside of your harness, you've got a little pin. You'll need a tiny flathead screwdriver like this, and you can take the pin next to your terminal and simply pry this way towards it, or in this case that way. So you're prying away from the terminal just a little bit. Now be careful, because these will break. And once it's loose, it should pop right out just like this. We'll do the same thing on the bottom pin. And just like that. And we'll reverse it. Now before I stick these back in, I'm going to go ahead and take all three of them out. Let me show you why. So make note of the thickness of the metal here. Even though one from JDM here is still pretty thick and strong, there's no, they're not flimsy and cheap by any means. They are still a little bit thinner than what may have come on one of these stock older bulbs. These older bulbs would have really thick internals. So what that means is on your pins, they're going to be slightly ballooned out a little bit. So right now, just take a second to get yourself some pliers and go ahead and crimp those in just a little bit to get yourself a tighter connection on the new pins for the LED bulbs. Okay, we've got it in. It's time to do a little side-by-side comparison in the garage before we do the other side and actually go hit the streets. So let's do it. just to help kind of show you the difference in light output, check this out. So you can see the light of the garage. Let me just block this headlight out real quick. So there is a single halogen on the passenger side. There is a single, let me block off the halogen over here. So there is a single LED on the driver's side. So again, halogen, halogen only, LED only. That's pretty good. I'm impressed. Okay, so there she is, man. It was super simple doing that side. I did that in probably about 5 minutes since I knew how to do this side. And look at that, man. That is just unreal how much light output this car has now. And I love the color. Nice, bright white. Yeah, so that is pretty incredible, man. I'm extremely pleased with that. Check that out, guys. That is incredible. I'm gonna make sure the fog lights work. I haven't tried that yet. I just heard them click on. Okay, so with the fog lights, you can see kind of the color difference. All right. That's awesome. Let's go for a quick drive. Hopefully you guys can see how this thing looks at night. Yeah, let there be light. And let me show you something. Let me show you the brights. Good Lord. Alright. I know you can't see me, but hey, that's bright. So it is absolutely cold here in Texas. It is, I think, 39 degrees, 38 degrees right now. So I've got the heater cranked here, so sorry for the noise, and we'll see how these are. And I haven't adjusted these at all. It's just purely out of the box here. And I can tell you right now, the way that the camera's viewing it is really adjusting the light. The spread is much wider out to the sides here than what you can see here. And you can see the reflections in all the street signs down the road, but these are incredibly bright, man. So I may need to adjust them a little bit, but so far they seem pretty good. Hopefully oncoming drivers won't be flashing me or anything like that. But yeah, the camera is compensating and it's only showing the center. But I assure you, I got plenty of light all the way out here, then all the way out on this side as well. It just seems to be the brightest in the center, as the camera's just picking that up the most. I may need to adjust the lights. I've never adjusted them. God. Woo, it's cold outside. She loves it. Alright, so I'm going to go down this dark road here and do a little bit of driving. We'll see you when we get back home. Okay, we just got back to the first test drive, and as you can see, they are incredibly bright. Oh my God, it's super awesome. Can't believe how much light it puts out on the road, but we do need to adjust the headlights. I think the LEDs have put more emphasis on the light and therefore made me realize that they've been out of adjustment this whole time. So, shocker. It's really easy to do. We're gonna go about adjusting this. What I'm gonna do is pull the car out, move the truck back, move it out, and we're gonna line it up in center line of my concrete here, and we're going to line it up with the garage, close the garage door, and give me a reference point somewhere I can adjust them. These are super easy to do. All you have to simply do is there's a set screw there and here. So there's 2 screws per light bulb, one on the top and one on the corner. It's really easy. If you loosen this one and you push the out, basically if you loosen this bulb, it's going to tilt your bulb out this way in towards inside of the car. And this right here, if you loosen it, it's going to bring it out. If you tighten it, it's going to bring it in like this. Same with that one. So loosen it, out, tighten it, it's going to bring it like this. So, okay, now that they've been adjusted, we should be a little bit better. Both my lights were pointed towards the driver's side that way. One of them was up. So now they're nice and level, pointed straight. And see what we got here already. See, you can see already how much better that is. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. All right. So you can see just taking a second to adjust your lights is going to make all the difference in the world. And it's much lower as they are. I feel more confident now that I'm not going to be blinding anybody. And that's the biggest thing, is these lights are incredibly bright. They're awesome. I can tell they're not pushed out too far. Plenty of visibility on the road. And guys, remember that, I mean, this camera is not meant for night photos, but the bright down the road, so that is turning my halogens on, but I can see the lights glow at the end of the street there. So the brights are incredibly bright, man. The best way I think to go about adjusting this is go ahead and do this on the garage door like I did and go drive it. You think one's left or right, then you can get out, put it on a dark straight road and adjust it. But yeah, I'm happy. In fact, they may need to come up just a little bit. They're a little low. I was really concerned about blinding oncoming traffic, but I don't know. They're pretty good. I'm not sure if I've got any complaints. So happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, and that is a wrap on this video. Now, I didn't go over the dust boot cover because frankly it didn't work out so well and it was taking up too much of the video, so I took it out to shorten the video a little bit, but it did not work too well. That boot that came with those Autopals kind of tore, and I've actually reached out to JDM and they've got their own boot covers that they can supply, and they're gonna send me out some boot covers that are gonna help seal these up a little bit, because those just didn't work. They didn't create a good seal around the bowl. So as far as longevity goes, I'm not too worried about the LEDs at all. I will let you know if I have any issues with them, but I will definitely let you know about the housings and if they start getting moisture in them and how well those things end up holding up. So thank you, JDM, for providing these products to me and letting me try them out for you and show the rest of you guys out there in the Fox Body Mustang world how they work on our car. So if you have a second, go to the website. If you haven't done it already, check them out. Scroll up and down their website, and feel free to give them a call. They're super helpful, and they'll be glad to help you guys out with any questions you might have for any LED automotive lighting needs for your car. So it's a cool company, and again, thanks again for sending me these bulbs and letting me try them out for you guys. But guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Follow me on Instagram. If you do that, you'll get updates on videos that are coming out before I release them. And if you subscribe to me on YouTube, then you get updates when the videos are released, so you can't miss any of this fun stuff we're doing back here. So guys, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Happy Thanksgiving.